Much of the emotional pain and the unconscious patterns you carry today have roots in moments you don't consciously remember. Even worse, those moments are the source of all the behaviors that you're not proud of. These past experiences were moments of fear, humiliation, disconnection, and loss that your younger self couldn't cope with. In this video, and with the practices I'll share, I'll teach you how to collect those pieces of yourself so that you can feel more whole and naturally watch your patterns shift without force. In the shamanic traditions of the world, they describe these moments in your past as soul loss. Modern psychology talks about them as repressed feelings and memories. But the experience you might have is the same. A life that sometimes feels controlled by unconscious anxiety, a colorful world that feels gray, feeling lonely while people surround you, being stuck in behaviors that you can't control, or feeling numb, powerless, regularly frustrated or disconnected. But what if you could return to those moments of loss in your past, to the moments where you gave up pieces of yourself, not just to witness them, but to retrieve those parts of yourself that you forgot or left behind. This video is an introduction to a series of guided practices that will take you deep into your own history, into your unconscious mind, and finally to fully reoccupy your beautiful body. And whether you plan on doing the practices or not, the background information in this video will help you build more self-awareness and understanding of the unconscious patterns controlling you. But before I get into the 3 key practices, please take a minute to subscribe to the channel and hit the thumbs up button. You'll be helping us reach more people. Now let's get started. The first practice in this series is a body integration and awareness practice. It lays the foundation for the 2 following practices by giving you deeper body awareness and the experience of an integrated and whole physical self. The second practice in this series will help you let go of force and embrace receptivity in your mind. When you allow yourself to become the vessel for the fullness of yourself, this is when you can create paradise in your life. Not through struggle, not through domination, but through the quiet presence of true power that comes from a deeper spiritual source. In this practice, this visualization, you'll practice letting go of control and force, and you'll practice receiving power from a spiritual source. The final practice in this series is the most powerful. It will regress you through your life to collect the power and truth that you left behind. It will take you beyond the memories you can recall consciously and help you cleanse any lies that your identity has been built on. The guided practice will even take you into your birth experience, and from there, like a leap into a mysterious ocean, it will help you remember what your consciousness was like before you came into your body. It will take you into the full knowing of your purpose in this life. Now, whether you believe in an actual soul or reincarnation or not, doesn't really matter. You can view this practice through the lens of modern psychology or through a spiritual one. The practical experience is what matters. The experience of feeling more whole, peaceful for no specific reason, and interconnected with something greater than yourself. In the remainder of this video, I'll walk you through the psychological and spiritual theories behind these practices, the true meaning of soul retrieval, the power of receptivity, the benefits of body awareness, and of reclaiming your inner power from your past. Once you've watched this introduction, you can move into the guided practices. You'll find them in the same playlist and linked in the description. I recommend taking a few days between each practice for integration, but as always, follow your own intuition on when you should practice. In our fast-paced, overstimulating world, it's easy to feel fragmented. Your mind racing in one direction, your emotions pulling you in another, and your physical sensations existing as mere background noise, if you're aware of them at all. But life's greatest joy is experienced when you're connected to your body. That's why the first practice in this series is a body and sensation awareness meditation. When you become disconnected from your body, you also become disconnected from your mind and more influenced by external ideas and other people's desires. You experience life as a collection of scattered pieces rather than an integrated whole. So it becomes easy to get confused about what you truly desire, what feels good, what doesn't. And when that happens, you also lose touch with your intuition and your very sense of self. The first meditation in this series is designed to guide you back into a state of unity, especially with your physical body, helping you experience yourself as a complete, interconnected being rather than a series of separate thoughts, emotions, and sensations. By bringing awareness to the intelligence of your body as a whole, you will begin to sense the underlying coherence that has always been there, cultivating a sense of wholeness that allows you to move through life with greater presence, fluidity, and self-awareness. Further on in this video, I'll get into the spiritual philosophies that teach this aspect of body and soul integration. But first, I'd like to talk to you about the true source of power. What if I told you that everything you've been taught about power is a trap? A famous quote that I really enjoy is from George Carlin. He said, "Fighting for peace is like screwing for virginity." Take that in for a second, because I don't think I've ever heard it said better. You've been told that power is about force, about pushing, about fighting, striving, controlling, pushing. You've been conditioned to believe that the harder you try, the more control and attainment you'll have. And that includes whatever psychological or spiritual goals you may have. You may think that the more you meditate and try to quiet your mind, the more peace you'll find. But the opposite can sometimes be true. Applying force either worsens or deadlocks the existing situation. Force only keeps you locked in an endless battle, a prison where every victory is met with another war. Think Game of Thrones meets Stephen King's The Dark Tower. And if you're not familiar with these references, that's okay. The point is that every ounce of effort you exert in the world is met with equal resistance in an endless cycle. And so as you push harder and fight longer, you exhaust yourself, only to repeat the same pattern over and over. True power begins when you stop fighting and embrace receptivity, when you gather the scattered pieces of yourself, the parts of you lost to conflict, resistance, survival, and fear. The mind, when divided, pulls in different directions, one part reaching forward and another holding back. Fear, doubt, anger, desire, each fragment competes for control. But when you invite them all back into yourself, with patience and presence, you become whole again. And in that wholeness, power is no longer something you chase. It is something you can receive and embody by placing attention effortlessly on the light within you. The greatest force in existence is something that moves through you, and when you open to it, when you stop resisting, when you stop closing yourself off to the infinite source. So in the second guided practice and visualization in this series, you will be guided to let go of the fight, integrate your fragmented pieces, and integrate your infinite creative light. From visualizing yourself in the prison of force to claiming yourself and collecting the disparate pieces of yourself. It will take you to the freedom of creating heaven in your own life from a place of effortless flowing from deep within you. This ability to receive light and allow it to flow through you is an essential step toward doing the deeper work of traveling to your past and integrating the lost pieces of yourself, which is what the third practice will guide you through. Before I get into the third practice, though, I want to give you some additional philosophical and intellectual foundations from both the Buddhist tradition and Western mysteries tradition about embodying your full self through receptivity and reclaiming your inner power. Having this knowledge will help your conscious mind lower its resistance and embrace the process. In the Buddhist teachings, existence is depicted as a cycle through 6 realms, which some teachings describe as literal places of rebirth in future lives. However, they can also be understood as psychological and emotional states that every human being cycles through. In the psychological view, these realms aren't necessarily external locations, but rather different ways of experiencing reality, shaped by thoughts, behaviors, and attachments. Each realm represents a way of experiencing reality based on one's mental and emotional conditions, shaped by thoughts, behaviors, and attachments. So let's talk about the 6 realms and how they relate to your daily experiences. First, you have the hell realm. This is the state of mind where suffering is all-consuming. It's ruled by hatred, anger, and despair. When you're stuck in this realm, life feels like an endless cycle of pain and punishment. Next is the hungry ghost realm. Here, desire rules everything. No matter how much you have, it's never enough. People in this state chase external validation, material wealth, and have addictive behaviors, always craving but never feeling full. Then you have the animal realm, where life is guided by instinct, survival, and ignorance. In this state of mind, there's little self-reflection, just a reactive existence moving from one basic need to the next without deeper awareness. Next is the human realm, which is different. This is the realm of opportunity. Here you experience both suffering and joy. But crucially, you have the ability to seek wisdom, question your existence, and move toward enlightenment, which doesn't happen in any other realm or state of mind. Next, and above the human realm, is the demigod realm. This is a realm of constant competition and jealousy. It's the feeling of always fighting for power, for status, for control, never being truly satisfied because there's always someone stronger, wealthier, or more powerful to challenge you. And finally, there's the God realm. This state of mind feels pleasurable and easy, even luxurious. But it comes with a hidden danger, complacency. In this realm, people get so comfortable that they stop striving for deeper understanding, for love, and for wisdom. Again, these realms don't have to be seen as places you go after death. They can be understood as states of mind you cycle through in this life, sometimes experienced simultaneously. According to Buddhist philosophy, the most advantageous state to be in is the human state, where you experience both pain and pleasure and don't get wrapped up in either of them. Because it is in this place of seeing duality that you can find your way out of these states or 6 realms for good. You see, the true path to freedom isn't found in any of these states of mind. It is found when you step outside of the cycle entirely, when you surrender the cyclical struggle and allow something greater to flow through you. And it is to that transcendent place that I guide you into in the second guided meditation. In the meditation, you experience the mindset of relentless seeking and competition, where the struggle is unending. In our modern world, much of the culture reflects this realm, with individuals and entities constantly battling for supremacy and desire always pulling you to seek. True paradise, as we explore in the practice, is attained not through continuous struggle, but by surrendering the fight and opening oneself to receive light from beyond the 6 realms. By transcending these states, we move closer to genuine inner peace. In the Rider-Waite-Smith Tarot deck, the World card represents the completion of a great journey, the mastery of self and existence. At the center of the card is a mostly naked woman standing within a wreath, symbolizing victory. Her body forms the shape of the sigil of sulfur. In alchemy, sulfur represents the soul, the highest, most divine aspect of being. The card symbolically shows that the woman has not attained victory through conquest and force, but through the deep inner work of unifying with her soul. She has not forced her mastery upon the world, nor has she attained her power through domination. Instead, she's taken the inward journey, seeking the essence of her own soul and fully embodying it through receptivity and surrender. She represents the perfect union of the physical and spiritual, and the embodiment of divine wisdom. Unlike the endless struggle of the demigod realm, where beings constantly vie for dominance, the world offers a different path, the path of integration. Rather than seeking power externally, this figure has learned to open herself to a higher truth, allowing divine energy to flow through her effortlessly. The lesson of the world is clear. True mastery and power do not come from force, but from alignment. It is only when you surrender the endless fight for control and embrace the vast infinite light of the soul that you step into your fullest power. This is the space you enter in the guided practice, a state beyond struggle and beyond resistance, where you become the vessel for something greater than yourself. From the moment you took your first breath, and even before that, your nervous system was learning. You absorbed the energy, emotions, and experiences around you. Before you had language, before you could consciously interpret the world, your body and subconscious were recording everything. Not in words, but in a kind of somatic, sensation-oriented way. In the third and final guided practice in this series, you'll experience a regression. You'll go back in time and collect the pieces you've lost, and even go beyond that, into the consciousness you had before you were born. Many of the struggles you might face today, patterns of self-doubt, feelings of unworthiness, insecurity, anxiety, or an inability to move forward, can be traced back to moments you don't consciously remember. For example, perhaps as a child or teenager, you learned that expressing yourself authentically wasn't safe, that you'd be punished by parents or peers for the simple act of being who you really are. Perhaps as an infant, you sensed rejection, abandonment, and fear when your mother left you to cry yourself to sleep in a dark room. Before you could even name these experiences, they became rooted in the deep recesses of your body-mind and began forming your identity and beliefs about the world. It's even possible that your experiences in the womb created stress or fear of the people around you. You may not remember these things, but your body-mind does. It has stored these experiences deep within, shaping your emotions, behaviors, and even physical reactions to life. The way you react to stress, the fears that arise without explanation, the patterns that seem to repeat in your life, these are all echoes of forgotten moments. Until these fragments are retrieved and integrated, they continue to influence your choices and perceptions of the world. These experiences shape the unconscious stories that guide your life. And until you retrieve and integrate those lost pieces of yourself, those stories remain the silent force behind your choices, behind your emotions, and behind your relationships. But you don't have to stay bound by what you can't remember. And you don't have to go through years of suffering to do it either. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that doing this one practice a single time is going to change everything for you in a day. Transformation is a deep and multifaceted process. But this deep regression practice, the third meditation in the series, can certainly help you connect to a feeling of a more authentic you. A feeling that can then help guide your conscious mind in new and better ways. Regression meditation doesn't only take you back through your life, it can actually take you beyond it as well. By traveling back past childhood, past infancy, into your birth experience, and from there into the moments before you were born, you can reconnect with a true sense of mystery, something deeper than most people can imagine. It can help you connect to the sense of purpose you carried before the world started to shape you. And again, whether you believe that life starts before the womb or not, doesn't matter. The experience of connecting to the pieces of yourself that carry a sense of purpose is what will shape the experience regardless of how you frame it. When you travel back to before you were given a name, before you were taught who you should be, there was you, pure and untouched. And in that space of pure you carried an intention, a reason for coming into this life. But for most people, as you grew, as life happened, as pieces of you became lost in conditioning, culture, punishment, and survival, that purpose may have gotten lost. You may have forgotten it altogether. This specific regression meditation guides you all the way back, not just to the challenges of your life, but to the wisdom you held before you even arrived here. Now take a moment right now to imagine the feeling of standing at the edge of that most primal of memories, of yourself, before you had a body, knowing that you are about to touch something sacred. Imagine that as you call it back, you feel yourself returning, that you feel a deep, undeniable sense of belonging and a recognition of why you are here. Imagine reclaiming that piece of yourself, and that when you come back to the present, something is different, lighter, more whole. You are no longer moving through life with missing pieces. You are here, fully. Imagine that you've brought back the parts of yourself that hold joy, purpose, and the fullness of your existence. Thank you for watching this introduction. I wish you a beautiful journey on your practice, and remember, nothing is real until you experience it fully with your body. These practices will help you do that. And if you have any questions or want to share your experience, please don't hesitate to reach out in the comments or directly through our website. Hearing from you literally makes my day. And of course, if you haven't yet, please subscribe to the channel and hit that like button. It helps us reach more people. Thank you.